There's been a lot of learnings that have happened in the last couple of months. I've moved to a new place, and I have just so much to share, so much insight on building businesses, personal growth, manifestation, mindset, visualization, slowing down. And when I looked back at my YouTube history, I saw that the only videos that I had watched were lectures, solo person podcasts, and people that were doing what I call stream of consciousness conversations, right? So as I looked at my content and I looked at the way that I wanted to convey some of these messages to you, I figured the best way that you could consume it and that I could create it was to not have a script, to have a notepad. I have a notepad here of 7 or 8 YouTube video ideas that I'd like to rifle through. And that's it. Me and you and a conversation. And I don't know if it's going to go 7 minutes or 70 minutes. And I don't even know what the topic of today is going to be, but I'm going to start with saying thank you for being here. It's no accident that you're here, and it's no accident that I'm here as well. I've got a beautiful glass of some energizing tea. About 7 or 8 months sober now, which is probably the best decision that I've ever made for myself. And this is the current reading, the current book stack that I'm working with right now. I'm trying to inch my way through the Everything Store with Jeff Bezos, or the story of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. The Richard Branson book is extremely long, but I think that of all of the billionaires and amazing entrepreneurs that I look up to a ton, he's one of the best just because of his ability to scale so many multi-billion-dollar brands through using leverage. Then I got Kitchen Confidential by the incredible Anthony Bourdain. And then last but not least, Is This Anything by Jerry Seinfeld. So this is what my life looks like today. By day, I'm running a multi-8-figure business and spending quite a bit of time in the sun, walking around here in Australia and splitting time between Laguna Beach. And a lot of time is left alone with my thoughts, with reading, writing, and, trying to grow as a person. So I think it'd be interesting for us to talk about 4 a.m. and the meaning and the purpose of 4 a.m. and how important 4 a.m. is for me as a creative, and hopefully can become that for you as well. So I wrote here, the creativity of waking up at 4 a.m. So let's talk about it. For the last couple of years, I have woken up every single day at 4 a.m. or somewhere between 4 and 4:30 a.m. I mean, outside of the days that I need to travel to an airport or have had some sort of random one-off event, I'm very, very, very diligent about waking up at 4 a.m. Why do I do that? How do I do that? And, what are the results that are able to happen from this? From a monetary standpoint, I haven't had a month since 2021 where I've made less than $300,000 a month in profit. Not one month. So we're talking a little bit over 60 months. And those are the lowest months with my businesses. And I do not want this to become a business channel where I'm giving you guys how-tos of how to get started with step 1 and step 2 and where do you go with $0. Unfortunately, I don't have that in me. I'm talking about the lifestyle and personal growth of the highest level of entrepreneurs, the 0.01%. And you either have it in you and you just haven't reached it yet, or you're hearing this right now and you're like, this is absolutely me and I need to turn it up a notch. So here's what 4 a.m. means to me. Was it always natural for me to wake up this early? No, but I always was an early riser, and I always found that my ideas were extremely, exponentially better in the mornings. For me, I would wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m., and I would roll around, and I'd always have these ideas. There was like a slip state that I called it, where I was slipping in and out of sleep, and it felt like, whether it was an idea about taking a girl out on a date, or it was an idea about making a $100 million business, or these days, like random things like org charts or video ideas, or taking a personal brand and developing it into something that has never been seen before. These ideas come to me at these hours, and the earlier that I find that I wake up naturally, the better the ideas are. In fact, it's weird because I really got into the as I was I'd probably made $20 million by this point that I was really starting to focus on energy, and around frequency, and getting a better relationship with Christ and trying to tie all of this stuff together. I'd always have these moments or these spurs of really good ideas, and I'm sure that you have them as well. But you're like, man, I think they just come to me in the car. I think that they come to me when I am in the shower, or when I'm doing a road trip, something like that, right? That's what I always said. They I don't know when they're happening. I'm tuned into this weird frequency, and then I'll just grab this idea. But what I found is, as a creative, you have to be extremely, extremely disciplined to give yourself time to be creative. So throughout my days, I carry this, a moleskin or something like this, maybe not as big as this, but I've got a shitload of these. I've probably gone through 70 or 80 moleskins in the last 5 or 6 years. And I'll just jot down ideas, right? Like I don't look like some weirdo, with a big backpack on everywhere, but I've got a notebook with me. And if I have an idea and it comes in, I'll sketch it out, I'll draw it out, I'll write it out, about anything, right? About moving, about my dream life, about a business, about a partnership, about IP. It doesn't matter what it is, a diet plan. It can be as small as a to-do list, but I write it down. What I found is you have to give yourself time to be able to, you know, flesh out these shorthand writings and these ideas. So myself, I go throughout my day and I cannot turn my creative brain off. Everything that I approach is creative. Every challenge or answer or anything is creative. I began going to sleep earlier, as I was really trying to quit alcohol, which was something that was difficult for me to quit, but the best decision that I ever made. And as I was able to quit alcohol and stop messing with these nights, my goal was to dial in my perfect creative day. I had this weird goal of wanting to reach what I call flow state. And the best way I can describe it is, if you've ever seen the movie Soul, where he goes off and he starts playing piano and then he drifts away and he's lost. That feeling of being lost for me as a creative, where my money, my passion, my my a lot of my excitement comes from my creativity and the ability to be creative. And I thought, man, what better thing to chase right now than something as exciting as being in a flow state, nearly every single day, or at least a couple of times a week. So my goal was this: stop eating dinner around like 5 or 5:30, work my ass off during the day, work out super, super hard. And by the end of the day, I should be exhausted. And by 7:30, turn my phone off, get into bed. Again, this is a lot of discipline here, but get into bed and, write down in the journal one last time, like some ideas that I have, but at this point, my brain is effectively dead. Maybe one little to-do list or one thought or idea that I have, thank you for this day, maybe a little prayer, and I'll go to sleep. And it can be difficult if you have a partner that's not on the same page, but luckily my partner's on the exact same wavelength and I love her for it. So boom, I begin waking up at 4 a.m. with no alarm, and that is extremely important. I will never set an alarm. You'll never see an alarm set on my phone if it doesn't absolutely have to be set, if there's not a reason why I have to wake up. Because I want to give my body enough rest so that when I wake up, I am buzzing with energy. Now, there's something special about that 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. region of time. And people get very confused when they ask me, because I post on Instagram and other places, well, what are you doing during these hours? You call yourself Mr. 4 to 8. Originally it was 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., but now I, basically say it's that 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. hours. Those are mine. I own that, right? And I tell people, like, this is the most important part of the day. What are you doing during these times? Well, I believe that the discipline of just waking up and giving myself those hours to not take any phone calls, to not take any emails. And by the way, I don't take any emails as it is from day zero. I immediately had an executive assistant that, I was like, I don't do email. Like, this is, if you need to handle it, text me about it if it's important. Otherwise, here's how I would respond, handle it. And most of my business doesn't have to do with email anyways. but it's different for everybody. And this is why I want this video and all of these videos to not be something where you copy me and say, this is exactly how Blake does it. So now, okay, I did it. Am I successful now? Am I happy? Have I reached what I wanted to reach? No. What you need to do is the most effective way to take this video in is to understand the principles that I'm sharing with you and apply them to your own life, your own beliefs, your own, timeline, your own energy, your own like whatever excites you, right? My skill set and my God-given talent is much different than yours. We are not going to have the same talents or gifts. We're not going to have the same interests, and we're certainly not going to have the same businesses. In fact, I would highly encourage you not to compete with me in my businesses because you're just not going to win. I'm as dialed in as I possibly can be, and I'm having way too much fun doing it. I want to see you win. I welcome everybody to the challenge, but that's not the point. The point is, I have all of these notes from the day before. I've slept 8 hours. My body wasn't digesting food all night, and I wake up at 4 to 4:30 naturally, and my body is buzzing with energy. Let me explain this to you. I literally feel like I am on crack cocaine, and my body feels like it's humming. I have so many ideas that I basically lay there in bed, no phone or anything, until I just feel like I can't even sit there anymore. I have to get up, like I explode out of bed. There's not one part of it, of waking up for me, that's like, oh God, I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, today's gonna suck. Man, if the more suck that there is and the more challenges that there are, the more exciting the day is for me, because I am somebody who's completely flipped the way that I look at challenges. As an entrepreneur, every single day is solving challenges, from the minutia to the big challenges, the big ideas. And you get paid all the way down and you have fun all the way down. So if my life is going to be challenges as an entrepreneur, why would I be pissed off every day and wake up when I have to go have a conversation with an employee about something that I said 100 times and they're just not getting it? I'm not. I'm excited. I have a new day to be better, to build better, to build my body, to build my mind, to write, to be creative, to read books, to learn. I'm just so fascinated with life. And during these hours, which I found out later on in the Ayurvedic world, they call these the ambrosial hours, the magic hours, because something happens during these hours of especially that 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. if you don't turn on your phone. In their culture, it's a meditation. These are meditative hours for some people, right? And you're like, dang, aren't you exhausted? How do you meditate? For me, they are meditative. Even if I'm writing or if I'm working, I am so much in a flow state. But every day is not the same. Every day is exponentially different. And I wait to see where my energy is taking me that day. It could be, I have a to-do list. I'm writing a YouTube video. I'm working on, my business with Shelby. I am trying to, work through some of the stuff where we're moving around in different countries. I want to wake up and I read a book. I'm like, man, I can't stop thinking about how insane it is that Jeff Bezos was able to scale this from a book company to as big as Amazon is today. I just can't stop thinking about it. My energy is driven over there for some reason. But I've given myself the discipline of these hours to just let it happen. And I'm going to equate this to a car radio, okay? You've been in your car before and had it on AM or FM on the stations, right? What happens when you're on 97.9 all day, every day? You're only hearing the same music, Kiss FM or whatever it is, and you're just hearing the greatest 100 hits over and over and over and over and over and over and over. When you wake up these hours, you are turning the knob, you are changing the frequency, and now there are new ideas that are coming to you. There are new ideas that are coming to you, and you cannot force them, and you don't know when they're going to come, and you don't know why they're going to come. But if you can be tuned in to this frequency, now you're on 100.1, and you're just listening. You're just listening. You're meditating. You're excited. I'm doing my morning supplements. I'm drinking a tea. Maybe if I can't think of anything actively, I'll go for a walk to get my brain going. And some days I may think of nothing. Some weeks, nothing may happen. But because I stick with the discipline of going to bed early, and it all starts the night before, but when I go to bed early and I wake up between that 4 to 4:30 a.m. time, and I give myself the creative discipline to tune into this frequency, I have watched every part of my life change, from being exponentially more gracious for the opportunities that I have, to strengthening my relationship with Christ and feeling like I can hear him more. And now I'm not just praying every day, but I'm having an ongoing conversation with Christ. I believe that if you do the same exercise or the same practice, because it is a practice, it is a discipline, that the same thing will happen to you as well in your own ways. I have come up with more ideas that have been beneficial both for serving my business and my people during these hours than ever before in the past. I found it exponentially easier to be excited about waking up early, because before I used to have this issue where the most exciting part of my week was not the business that I was building or the people that I was spending time with day to day, or my employees, or a new idea, because there was no discipline around it and I didn't know when they would come. So the most exciting part for me was the weekend, a Friday or a Saturday coming, and being able to turn off this fight or flight that was happening. This way that I was living was not benefiting me. I was building businesses and I was making millions of dollars, but I was doing it out of survival. And if you're listening to this and you're doing the same, or you feel ambitious and you know that you're going to be doing the same, I can tell you with certainty that building out of a place of low cortisol, of peace of mind, of gut and brain health, and minimizing your brain fog, of creative discipline, of actually not wanting to focus on the money but being of a place of service, you're going to find that your life is going to exponentially change when you follow this very simple practice. This is not just for entrepreneurs. If you are writing a book, if you are a creative of any sort, you're writing a screenplay. Hell, if you are just trying to figure out what your purpose and passion in life is, I can tell you that it's none of what we're talking about is going to come forced. The book, the movie, the business, the videos, the education, none of it. It's not going to happen if it's forced. But if you can chase excitement every day, and you can, instead of having a very strict, regimented, every 15 minutes, this is what I do, and I jump on the rowing machine, and then I go do a really hard workout here, and then blah, 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 blah. That shit doesn't work for me. I couldn't put myself as a creative in that box. But what I could do all day was notate the things that I found interesting, the ideas that I had, and go, this is what's working for me. This is what's exciting to me. I thought this about yesterday. I really hated this. I can't stand doing that. Man, I loved this part of my day. Everything about your life is going to change, because the foundation of your life has changed. The foundation of your life has changed. 4 a.m. and this Mr. 4 to 8 life, I guess maybe I'll start tagging that, right? Like this 4 to 8 life. You don't need to do anything else in your day if you're a creative, but work your life around these hours, because everything else will change. You won't want to go and stay out late drinking and drowning out these thoughts and quieting your mind like I used to with drugs and alcohol, because your life is so much more exciting and better when you're waking up early and you're excited about what you're building. Like when you can be fucking aligned and buzzing with energy every single morning, it is unbelievable what will happen in your life. And honestly, watch the relationships and watch the other, the impact that you're able to have on both your inner circle of people and as well as the rest of the world. I found myself smiling at more babies. I found myself spending more time with people that I felt like were struggling and needed some just quality time with me. I felt like my intention behind what I was doing was always grounded in just being of service. I found that my time with Jade and with my parents and on the phone with my, because I'm half the time traveling the world, I found that my time with people on the phone wasn't distracted or scattered. When I went to the gym, I wasn't on my phone for half the time. Everything improved. So what an incredible practice and very simple to follow. It's not easy, but it is simple. To just at least give it a try and watch so much of your life change. Um, yeah, watch so much of your life change. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you as a creative myself. I'm rooting for you knowing that life is not easy, that everybody comes from a different background, that everybody's skills are different. But I can tell you with certainty that it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or what your background is, that your life will dramatically change when you add this practice into it. When you add this discipline of going to bed early, waking up at 4 to 4:30 a.m. without an alarm, your life will fucking change. And if it doesn't, then you can hold my feet to the fire and tell me in the comments or reach out to me and tell me that I'm lying. I love you guys very much. I hope to continue to be of service and of value to you guys. I have nothing to offer you or value you except for, I have nothing else to take from anybody. I'm just here to give. And hopefully the only thing that I look for out of this is that I can continue to attract the right people that want to come and work and build alongside of me. And it's just a dream come true, being able to have a microphone like this and pour value into your life. Please share this with anybody that you believe this would add impact in their life. It would be one of the best things for myself to see that not only this message is hitting you, but it's hitting other people as well. And if you've made it this far to the very end of the video, I'm imagining that I am in your headphones somewhere right now, and you're walking around doing something great. You're having amazing ideas and thoughts, and hopefully you are geeked up and energized and ready to go take on the world. Love you guys with all my heart. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and I will see you guys when I see you. 4 to 8 life.